Austria preview, guys. Welcome back to the Off Camber podcast. I'm TC, and we are back with our guest, Manul. He's back. He's made it back.
Good to be
and
back.
It's weird. I feel a bit weird sitting in this side of the chair, like I'm on the wrong side of the room, I feel like, So,
yeah, used to it.
Yeah, one day. But yeah, after an uneventful Canada, what's your takeaway? Out of the seat for a while. So let's get your thoughts on the season and how it's going, and have you got anything to say about the last few races? Any thoughts?
So judging by the hat I'm wearing, I'd just like to say that it's good to see we're not fucking sandbagging the entire season.
Yes,
we sort of figured it out a little bit. Ferrari was second briefly in the constructors, and they're back to third, and I hope it stays that way. I love hating on Ferrari; it just makes me so happy. I think honestly, the only thing that's surprised me is the fact that McLaren had a meltdown for the ages.
Yeah.
I hope they can sort that stuff out. But apart from that, Mercedes looks really good as well. Kimi Antonelli, I think I called it in one of the earlier sessions. I said that's the driver of the future. Yeah. I'm doubling down. Yeah. I'm buying Kimi stock now. He looks fucking incredible.
It was good. It was really good to see him get a podium and finally see that he was having a bit of a rough patch there, and he's coming out the other side. So positive news for him.
I don't even think he can drink yet. He's like,
he can't even drive the car that they got him.
Yeah, he can't even drink the champagne on the podium. Like,
yeah. But what did you think of? Fernando's had a good run of form recently, which I have been talking a lot about recently, and they've been pretty decent. He's been a step ahead of Stroll, which is back to his usual form. So. Yeah, you could say finally, because he did have a shite start to the season.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, honestly.
100%.
I think it was Newey's wind tunnel.
Yeah.
He's finally using it.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move on to Austria though. So this is what we're gonna hear. This is what we're here to talk about. Preview for the Red Bull Ring, and let's talk about the track first. Give me a rating out of 10 for everyone. The track itself.
Yeah. I love Austria. Fast track. I think you said the fastest lap times on there. Very, very biased towards the rear. Multiple stop race. Generally, you run a softer compound in general on a track like this. It'll be really interesting because there's a lot of overtaking opportunity as well, which means there's a lot of opportunity not only for good racing, but also for a lot of crashes. I hope we don't see the crashes as much, especially not with the two McLarens again.
Yeah.
But, it just means that there's another opportunity for us to come back here and sit down and shit on the stewards, which is always fun. So.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And for me, it's a 9 out of 10 track. And it always has been. It just like suits the cars so well. I mean, and it gives a varying challenge. The first that first half of the lap is that stop. Excuse me. Slow
Is
in.
it that boring talking about Austria?
Yeah. 9 out of 10, but I'm yawning. Slow in, fast out corners, tight hairpins, and then
a lot of 90 degrees.
Yeah, and then that last sector is those sweeping, rear limited corners that require a lot of, a good balance throughout the car and show off different skills or different attributes compared to the first sector. So I think it's going to prove to be a good challenge for the cars, and it always delivers. I feel like it always delivers good races.
It does.
Last year was epic. That was the Max and Lando battle, and obviously it ended in with a collision and leaving George Russell the freebie. So, but yeah, I feel like just in general, I mean, it's just a killer track. Like,
do you know who set the fastest lap time last year on Austria?
In the race?
1:07.
In the race?
In the race.
Yeah. Well, is that because he bolted on a set of softs at the end?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So he's still
which is why they've taken that shit out. So, yeah. But yeah, it is one of my favorite tracks, and I think it will be a track that doesn't go away, and I hope it doesn't because it is so good.
No more sprint racing as well. It'll be a proper qualifying session.
Yes. Very true. What do you think about that? I like the
I
sprint
like
races.
it. I like the sprint races, but I think in terms of having a better race overall, having that extra qualifying or practice session really gives the teams a better chance to optimize the car.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Which could lead to a better Grand Prix, I guess.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, I think it will be. And I think the cars are going to be closely matched. So let's get into the predictions. Do you want to? Guest goes first, as always. So we go through his predictions, and then we'll go through mine. And
pole. I think nothing changes my stance on Oscar winning this thing. I'm telling you right now, Oscar. This is Oscar's race to lose.
Yep.
Unless Mercedes can pull a rabbit out of the hat. Maybe George Russell, heads pole. Home race for Red Bull. Maybe they win pole, but I'm saying Oscar all the way.
Yep.
What's second?
Winner.
There's a lot of pressure on Max Verstappen to win this race, but I don't think he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm saying if Oscar qualifies first, barring another, McLaren meltdown, I reckon he's winning it.
Yeah, fair.
And my run wide drive, I'm saying Yuki Tsunoda. I'll be honest, like that Red Bull seat is cursed. His goal this race, and I think the rest of the season, is just to get in the points. Which in a car like that, if Max is taking this thing into a podium, at the very least, as your number 2 driver, you should be getting points in it. So
yeah, fair enough. What about a class drive?
Class drive, mate. Fernando Alonso. He's back in form. I feel like if everyone had equal machinery, he would head and shoulders be above the rest. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna win a He's gonna win a WDC. If we get rid of the Strolls, we're winning a WDC.
Wait, that's a drivers' championship, so you don't need to get rid of Stroll. Why do you need to get rid of Stroll?
No, I'm just saying that. I'm not saying it's happened, but I'm speculating that Lance doesn't really like it, or Lawrence doesn't really like it when Lance is losing. I'm just saying.
Oh god. He's all over the Aston. What's going on in the Aston?
I hope we get bought over, and I hope
internal Aston drama.
I hope when they buy,
like their fucking, their like
the
investigator.
Yeah.
He's like a PI, mate.
I hope when they get bought over, the Strolls are gone. Oh my god, just give me a number 2 driver that doesn't suck. Put me in the car.
Oh my god,
put me in the car.
He's a certified hater. You're a certified Lance hater. Anyway,
all right,
let's go to my woeful predictions, which is a standard I've set. My awful standard of predictions. Let's see if it rolls on. All right,
giving him the TC curse.
The TC curse. The TC shit predictor. So we've gone. I'm in agreement in pole. I think Oscar's produced good laps this season. And I think the McLaren will be quick enough for the pole position. Yeah. And I think it's going to be 81 taking out that slot. So Oscar for pole. Potentially a front row for Lando as well. But I'm saying no to that because my winner is going to be Max Verstappen, who will make the lunge at T1 and force an error. The first opening lap. Yeah, it'll happen on that opening T1, T2, T3. An opening lap pass from Verstappen will give him the win. And he'll take it and run away with it.
You reckon he's going to run someone off the track again like he did?
Oh, he could. He well and truly could. The Red Bull is always quick at Austria.
Home race, they better be.
They are always quick there. So you can... I'm not going to bet against him.
Fair enough.
My class drive. Gasly's been facing a bit of pressure recently. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to have a good performance. I think aero-wise, the Alpine's not a bad car, and I think it'll be able to be decently quick, and I think Gasly is head and shoulders above Colapinto. So easily. I think he's going to have a good performance this weekend. And my run wide, I feel like I've actually given him run wide a few times. Yeah. I feel bad.
You've been shitting on Hadjar.
I feel bad. Hadjar, why have I picked Hadjar? I don't even know I like the guy, but I don't know. Maybe the racing bulls don't perform well. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. So, Hadjar's my run wide, and
technically this is also their home race.
I mean, no. Their home race is Imola.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. Because
but
AlphaTauri,
it soon will be because they're going to be moving out of there. So,
are they?
Yes.
So, what are they moving to the UK as well?
Yeah, they're going with Red Bull.
With Red Bull.
Yes. So,
just wanted to give a big shout out to JJ, who's a software engineer over at Visa Cash App.
Yeah,
he'll be mate. If you ever see this, I just want to say I know it's hell to move from Australia to the UK. So good luck.
Yeah, fuck that. Except for F1 watch times.
Yeah, at least he'll be able to watch all the
Yeah,
races. You
yeah.
know, it's great. He doesn't even watch motorsport, and he got the job
Oh.
at V Carb.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work. It's always the way. Anyway, so those are predictions. Hopefully I get those ones right, and hopefully you don't. Nah. I reckon we're a decent shot.
Yeah.
I reckon we're a decent shot. But let's talk about the cars. I mean, McLaren. Where do you think they sit this weekend? I mean,
Ooh, okay.
they've sort of had a bit of a decline in their
have.
dominance. Like their dominance hasn't been the same as it was at the start of the year.
Mm.
So I guess the question is, are they going to be able to retain that? And where are they going to sit in the championship after this, or in the pecking order, I guess, after this race?
I think their dominance has only been offset because Mercedes has become so good so quick.
Yeah.
Like the car development over at Mercedes has been kind of insane to see. I think this is more about them proving that they've still got it. I still think they're going to be the fastest car on track. Like there's probably no doubt. But it's just how much more of a gap can Mercedes close on them. I think those are the two fastest cars in the track right now. Ferrari aren't very close. But Ferrari in the ground effect era have been a very, very good team in terms of like overall traction. And so this track especially does focus on how much traction you can get onto the rear.
Yeah, but they haven't. They've always been in this ground effect. They've always been a one lap car.
They have though,
and like
that's why they do so on the sprints.
Yeah, but like it just has never worked out for them.
Not in the race,
Like,
and
they've never been able to consistently get results, and like they're in a bit of a slump. They did pick it. They have picked it up the last few races. To be fair, like top fives, they've been there, but now, you know, the problem is actually that in these last few races, it's been that one lap. They haven't been able to qualify high enough to get the good results. So that would be where their progress needs to be. So they get up the order because the field's so tight this year and it's so hard to overtake.
Yeah,
the qualifying is so much more important than what it has been in the last few years.
100%. I reckon Charles Leclerc would have easily been, probably Leclerc and Lewis, if they both qualified better, would have been on the podium last weekend.
Yeah, well, they could have. I mean, the McLarens were easily the quickest, quick enough to win the race. Yeah. But obviously, with how the qualifying went and how turn one went for Oscar and how he lost that position to Kimi, that pretty much set the positions in stone. Yeah, you know, because there's just no overtaking nowadays. But Austria, I feel like, is a bit of an outlier where you still can pull off moves with the DRS zones. Into the heavy braking zone. So I don't know. I feel like Ferrari's just not going to get on top of their shit this weekend, and just I don't know. I feel like they haven't done well in Austria over the years, and it's not a strong track for them. And I think they're not going to be able to all of a sudden just click into like a zone where they're fast.
I see where you're coming from, but also I think it's just, like it's the sunk cost fallacy, right? Like we spent so much money on Lewis, we have to keep Charles Leclerc. We have like we have the ugliest car on the grid, like with the freaking HP sponsorship that is disgusting. Like we have thrown so much money into this project and it's not working, and we can't just give up now. So like it's kind of like they have to compete, but they're just competing to see who can be third.
Yeah, 100%. They're not going to stop. I don't think they're going to throw away this season. But I don't think they're going to put in more development. I think most of the teams now are probably like that anyway. With the new regulations coming next year, it's sort of like, well, there's no point actually putting more money into it, 100%. So that like, you know, you're wasting development for the next set of rules.
You know who I think will be amazing this year and like what Austria and going forward, freaking Williams.
Well, hopefully, man. I've been rooting for them the whole season, and they've been so super inconsistent. I mean, they've been like. They've had the pace a lot of weekends, but they just haven't been able to find those results, which has been frustrating.
They got the drivers too now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they can be a genuinely good team.
Yeah.
If they can put it together. They just need to put the weekends together. And it hasn't worked out for them, but hopefully their luck turns. But the other teams that have, Sauber and Aston Martin, your man and Nico Hülkenberg. They have been really, really good recently. Yes. The last few races, they have been excellent. And do you reckon their form's going to continue? I mean, obviously, I know you with Alonso. Like, what about Sauber, though? I mean, Bortoletto's had some good showings in qualifying.
Yeah.
The car seems to be pretty drivable. especially in Nico's hands in the race. I mean, Gab doesn't really have that race pace or, being able to see out a race with, experience. He doesn't have that experience yet to see out a whole race distance. Whereas Nico is showing in the races that car is really capable.
Yeah. I think especially with both of these guys, Hulkenberg and also Alonso, these guys are they've been in the sport for so long. It's just pure class.
They're pros. They're absolute pros.
They are cream of the crop. Some of the most consistent drivers you'll see. Obviously with Hulkenberg, I feel like he should have had at least a podium under his belt.
Yeah.
The fact that has never happened yet is kind of insane to me. But that being said, these guys are absolute class drivers, and it's more on, I think, them and their form than it is about the car. Yes, the car has been faster, but also these two cars were literally tractors to start the season.
Yeah.
They were not quick at all.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting to see how it's played out, and they've sort of caught up now. I'd say those two specifically, maybe not Sauber, but Aston is sort of catching up to that Williams area where Williams has sort of fallen off a little bit from Mercedes because, as you said, Mercedes has really picked up their development quickly, and Williams has sort of dropped back a bit, and they're falling into that Aston, Sauber. Sometimes some weekends it's Haas, some weekends it's V-Carb, some weekends it's Gasly. So yeah, it's really going to be that midfield battle is so intense and there's so little in it. It's just,
I feel like we know the top three in terms of the constructors, right? You're going to have your Mercedes, you're going to have McLaren, and you're going to have Ferrari. But, P4, P5, P6, who do you reckon takes it? Because that's the tightest battle, I think.
Mate, it changes every single race. I mean, now I'm doing the graphics for the standings.
You got to move them around. It's annoying.
Mate, these midfield drivers, they're moving around every week.
Yeah.
Every week I'm doing different shit, and it's crazy work. So they got to settle it down.
It's a good season though. I'll be honest. Compared to the years of Red Bull,
100%, man. This is exactly what we wanted.
One of the best
exactly
seasons.
what we wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly what we wanted. So. All happy days for that. I'm so thrilled with this season, and it's been awesome covering it. So I'm glad to be doing this, and yeah. And with that, do you have any other, thoughts on the weekend that you want to gloss over, or you want to say for Austria?
I think we pretty much covered all of it. I think my main thing is I really want Yuki Tsunoda to get points on the board.
I know.
Come on,
can he?
Man. Yeah, it's so disappointing.
It's the greatest gap between teammates. It is so remarkable how it can be one driver in P2 you're seeing in the race. One driver's P2, the other driver's P19. That doesn't happen.
Nah.
That doesn't happen. And for a driver of Yuki's caliber, what would be interesting is just the commentators were actually talking about this a few weeks ago. Put Max in the V-Carb.
See how quickly
see what happens. See what happens. Because obviously, the V-Carb couldn't be that bad.
No, well, because look, it's obvious the Red Bull's made for Max. His driving style suits that car so
yeah, 100%. And Yuki, with all the experience he's got, and he's a proven driver. He's not a slow driver. We know he's a fast driver, and for him to be doing this, I
feel like it's got to be mind games.
And you know what? This makes me think, and this has pissed me off.
Yeah.
Why did we not just get Danny Rick in that
I was
seat?
About to say, he drove that car faster than anyone else that had ever been in that seat, ever.
Even
in
Max.
The testing ground. He drove faster than Max.
There's a lot of people who would argue that Danny Rick outperformed Max in those Red Bull years.
Well, he did.
And yeah, I'd think that too. But you can argue both ways. But at least he was good. We know he was good.
Well, yeah, because the only reason he left Renault was because Red Bull just didn't want to treat him as a number one driver. They were like, no, Max is the future, which, in hindsight, I guess they were right. Yeah. But also, you can't. The gap was so small between them that it was
100%. And that just so this situation just makes me go, wait, why did we not have Danny Rick?
The fact that Daniel Ricciardo is sitting in his couch somewhere watching this race and not in the paddock,
diabolical.
That is that is a crime against humanity.
Diabolical. That's all I got to say. Yeah. But that's all we got, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know your predictions for the Austrian Grand Prix, and we'll see you for the review. We'll see if our predictions were spot on. Hopefully, hopefully I can get a few on the board here.
Before we go, what's your 1, 2, 3?
1, 2,
P1,
3
P2,
is
P3.
going to be Max, Oscar, Lando.
I'm saying Oscar, Max, George.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, guys. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.